Hello, YouTube. It's Thursday. It's a karaoke show at Bullock's kind of day. Although I've got a handful of things I'm gonna try to get done before I head that direction. So it's 3:23 p.m. January 20th, 2022, and I'm walking. Starting my day walking to the post office. I need to ship that order that dude keeps bugging me about on eBay. When I got to my eBay app to write down his address on the package, and I got it all packaged up. It's in my shoulder bag. It's honestly, I think he bought probably the least expensive thing I'm selling. So yeah, not much in the way of money for me coming in on this one. Bought a Phoenix TX CD, and I'm not so familiar with the discography of Phoenix TX, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's their first album or what, but it's the one with the blue and yellow cover, if you're familiar with Phoenix TX. And I don't really remember much about what that album's like. I remember listening to Phoenix TX, many years ago, but that's a band that's just kind of dropped off my radar. I mean, I remember they were pop punk. If memory serves, there's some kind of like a novelty song in that album about having a big cock, and of course he's singing about his rooster. Or is he? Almost forgot about that. That just came to mind. Anyway, maybe I should get that album a listen. Generally speaking, when I look at an album, I'm into music enough, and I've been a DJ for so long, and collected music and sold music for so long. Generally speaking, when I look at an album, I can hear it in my head, at least a song or two. But some albums, like I can look at it and just mentally hear chunks of every single song on it, just looking at the song titles. And I look at that Phoenix TX, and I'm like, pop punk, something about a big rooster. And that's like all that comes to mind. So yeah, if time to give that one another listen, if for no other reason, just to jog my memory what the hell it sounds like. And somebody wanted it, somebody ordered it. I'm actually surprised they even bothered to list that one up for sale. I mean, obviously I sit on multiple copies of it, so that's, because I wouldn't remove that from my personal library. So obviously that's a used one that I put up because I sit on a personal copy, sitting on an extra copy of it. And then again, the price, I've nudged the price down so low on that one that I don't even know if there's any profit involved for me after shipping, but hey, at least it's an order. So yeah, my eBay app says that it's due to be shipped by tomorrow, so I'm by no means late shipping it. But yeah, the guy shot me an email on Monday, and I think also shot me an email yesterday bugging me about hurrying up and shipping it. Or maybe it was Tuesday. I think the first email came in like early on Tuesday, and which is funny because the order came in on a Sunday. Like, how much of an impatient asshole are you if you don't realize that the post office isn't open on Sunday and wasn't open on Monday either? That was a holiday. Why are you bugging me about something that, like when the first email came in, there's absolutely no reason for him to expect that it would have been shipped yet. Absolutely no reason. Anyway, I'm shipping it. I don't think he'll even be given an opportunity to rate me on how long it took to ship, as long as it's shipped before the date in the app, and the date in the app is tomorrow, or shipped by the date in the app. Like, I could ship tomorrow, wouldn't affect my performance ratings with eBay. So anyway, yeah, not really making any money on that, but at least it's, you know, one more item sold. And you know, I'm really realizing how much in the last like month and a half I've dropped the ball on my eBay store. Because for a while there, now granted, for a while there I was bringing in some money on that, some decent money on that. Now, granted, a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was sitting on a bunch of Taylor Swift and hadn't realized just how much Taylor Swift vinyl and even less common Taylor Swift CDs had skyrocketed in value. I you know, so that kind of gave me an extra boost on my numbers. But at one point in time, I was up to, when you open up the eBay mobile app in the seller portion of it, one of the statistics it puts right in your face is what your total sales are for the last 3 months, which is kind of motivating. You keep seeing that number going up, and you know, divide it by 3, and I'm like, wow, I'm that much extra money a month. And not that long ago, I had that number up to about $1,200. So, I mean, granted, that's you know, not a full-time job or anything, but I mean, you know, $1,200 is nothing to sneeze at, especially when you're as broke as I am. So, yeah, I haven't really been putting much focus on my eBay store, and when I looked at it today, it was, I forget exactly what the number was, but it seems like it was around $400. So, yeah, that averages out to less than $200 a month. That's significantly less than $200 a month. So that's a disappointing figure to see. And I've got really no one to blame but myself. I've really not put much effort into it lately. So I did send somebody, while I was in that panel, I did send somebody an offer. And for those unfamiliar with how selling on eBay works, if somebody is looking at an item that you have for sale and they like enough to put it on their watch list or wish list, whatever it's called this year, you can, the app will give a seller, and I'm assuming the website does it as well. I've been using eBay exclusively for years, well, nearly exclusively for years through the iOS app. But it gives you an option to send somebody a lower offer, and I forget, it has to be a certain percentage less than the retail. Like, you can't have something for sale for $8.99 and just decide you're going to send them an offer of $8.79. Like, you have to discount it enough that and it'll show you. I've kind of found a trick to make sure that you're not massively marking stuff down too much, but you're within the range, is to attempt to do just a tiny discount that you know it's going to refuse. Like literally drop it down 10 cents, and you know it's going to tell you no, but in the message where it tells you no, it also tells you the maximum amount that you can reduce the price to that is going to be acceptable for that portion of eBay. So I generally do that, and then I look at that number, and I still tend to round down from there, put to something that's going to look. Typically, I'll go like down to the next $1.99, but I think I went with, I forget what the CD was, something obscure. I want to say, whoa, hello, bus. Hey, pretty sure I had the right of way, but whatever. I'm gonna try to assert dominance against the school bus. Anyway, wow, that's wild. Oh, great has been pulled off the top of that canal box. Wow. Wow. Surprised somebody hasn't stolen that just to sell it for scrap metal. Anyway. Amazing how stupid little things like that can distract me. So, yeah, so I believe that the one I sent the best offer for was a band called Testify, which I'm not particularly familiar with. Their music, in fact, I don't think I've even ever listened to their music, but I do remember looking it up when I put the CD up for sale. It's been up for sale for a long time, and if memory serves, they're a pretty obscure German industrial metal band from the 1990s. So, yeah, not the thing there's a whole lot of consumer demand for, but I'm sure I'm one of very few people that has that. Yeah, you're blocking a sidewalk, dude. Blocking a sidewalk. I'm sure I'm one of the very few that has that CD for sale. And I think the copy I have is sealed, so I'm not sure what price I've got on it, but somebody was interested in it, so I knocked a little something off it and sent them an offer, so cross my fingers that sells. Yeah, I think at this point the reason I've got so little sales is just the stuff I have up for sale is just so, currently it's just stuff there's either not much demand for, or stuff that I've got priced a little high for what it is. Stuff I've got priced a little high for what it is just because and maybe I should adjust my prices on it, but the way I do my pricing is I always include shipping and have the free shipping option checked. I do worry that increases the fees that I pay to eBay, but it always seems to result in more sales. So I know from the time that I stopped trying to calculate what shipping was and putting it in like that and just started marking free shipping on everything, I noticed a definite jump in the amount of sales that I got. And I know for me, like as somebody who's shopping, it's nice to just look at that and go, you know, what's that cost me? And granted, there's still going to be sales tax added on it, but it's as a consumer, it's one less thing to have to think about. So I do them all that way, but I have to make a point not to drop my price on something to below what it's going to cost, below what the shipping cost is going to be, plus what the eBay fees are going to be for selling it. You know, I'm not about delivering media and losing money to do so. And I know this Phoenix TX CD is like right on the cusp of that. Anyway, I really should put more effort in my eBay sales. The last day, I believe it was Saturday. Saturday was, wow, so much congestion for school letting out. You know, when I was in school, I don't remember this many parents coming to pick up students. It seemed like most everybody either walked home or took the school bus. Society has certainly changed a lot since I was in elementary school in the 1970s and early 80s. Anyway, just things that cross my mind as I'm walking around looking and wondering, like, why is there so much traffic here? Oh, because some reason parents pick up do a drive to pick up their children from school as opposed to letting them walk home or ride the bus. Then again, I don't think I'd want my little kid walking home in this neighborhood either, so I definitely get that. Society has definitely gone downhill a lot since the 1970s in that regard. I do see quite a lot of kids walking home from school though, so that's kind of a positive thing, I think. And I also see what looks like a mother up ahead walking with her kids. It's nice to see someone making the effort to walk to get their children as opposed to driving. Now granted, I pretty much always drove to pick up Lily, but me and her mother had decided to put her in a school that was walking distance from her mother's place, since her mother didn't have a vehicle, which made it too far to walk from my place. So I mean, that was kind of a choice that we both made, just in the best interest of Lily and the way that we were each able to provide for Lily on the days that we needed to take care of that. So. Considering how much I'm used to walking down the street and being empty, it's just kind of odd to me to see so much traffic on it and so many people walking on it. I feel like I need a translation of that. So yeah, I've definitely never walked to this post office this time of day on a school day. This is definitely a different experience. Oh, and I smell of weed really strong right here. Yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of parents that get kind of frustrated about that. But hey, it's legal here in Arizona, so what you gonna do? There's so many people walking on 48th Street today. And jaywalking on 48th Street. Not gonna lie, I was kind of thinking about jaywalking back there just to get past all those children and the mother that was speaking Spanish, but I thought there was too much traffic. Now this is interesting. This is technically a street, and that's Portland Street. And there's a mother with her two children trying to cross what is, by Arizona state law, because this is a street on the right, Arizona state law would make that spot where she's at, presumably to their apartments across the street, that would make that an unmarked crosswalk. As you can see, there are absolutely no cars slowing down whatsoever to enable her and her kids to cross. So that's kind of shitty. I wish the state of Arizona would put as much effort into a public awareness campaign of what an unmarked crosswalk is as they are into trying to promote everybody to wear masks and get a questionable vaccine that doesn't appear to be very effective at preventing what it's supposed to prevent. But I digress. I wish the sidewalk was wider today too. Dang. The kids are walking in the landscape. So yeah, I haven't been putting much effort in my eBay store, and I should really probably put some more effort into it. Saturday was the last day that I actually put substantial effort into organizing stuff down at my storage, which at this point I'm down to 10 days to try to vacate that one, and my rent has gone up. So I'm kind of nervous that even with me vacating that one, with the increased rent, my total is still going to be what it was the month before without me vacating that one. I haven't sat down and crunched the numbers on it, but it's frustrating. It really is. The current inflation on just everything, particularly things surrounding vehicles and things surrounding rental property, and storage rental is kind of in that category. I forget exactly what the percentage increase was, but it's notable, and I want to say it's the third or fourth time I've had a notable rent increase down there within the last 3 years. And prior to those 3 years, I had been there, I want to say about 8 years without a price increase. So it's something I'm keenly aware of, especially considering that in the last 2 years I've had considerably less money to pay it in, and also more units. So yeah, it's something I need to put some effort into, because I'm close to that point where it's become a real struggle to pay that, and I really don't want to start losing stuff and have bad will between me and that place. Anyway, the last day I was down there, I was basically went through a couple of vintage guitar tube amplifiers, cleaned them up, took a whole bunch of pictures of one, and I really plan on going back there since then. I've just had so much on my plate, particularly trying to make sure that I'm ready to work that new job at Amazon and handle it. The shoe thing, holy shit, that's been, the amount of time I've put into that is insane. I mean, considering that if I had the money, I could have just been, fuck this, and paid for the shoes, you know, and it would have been a better use of my time. But I don't have the money, and so yeah, lots of time spent riding the bus to try to handle something that could have, the average person would have been like, oh, that's not much money. It's a lot of money to me, buddy. So Saturday when I went down to, I wish the city of Phoenix would put a sidewalk here. And the funny thing is, this space here is pretty obvious to me that this is a parking lane, but people who live on the street clearly seem more comfortable parking their vehicles on the dirt in the space where the sidewalk should be. I guess on that note, I'll just walk where they should be parked. I guess that's one way to handle that. I feel like there's a law that makes it illegal to park like that, and it's just being overlooked because this is the hood. I do remember I had, well, especially this guy here doesn't have a license plate. Back when I owned a house over around 33rd Avenue in Sweetwater, I used to constantly get notices from the city about vehicles that I had parked not being in compliance with city code. And sometimes it had to do with being like that vehicle I just passed and not having a license plate because it was something that I bought specifically to pull parts off of to repair my taxis. And another time it's just like parked too close to the street. It's parked on dirt. It can't be parked on dirt. It needs to be parked on a proper driveway. It's parked in your backyard. I remember one. I went to jail for this one. It parked in my backyard, but to be honest, I went to jail because I just didn't go to court and I had a court date. But this was what the court date was regarding. I had a car that I was using as a parts car for my cabs. In my backyard, but my fence between my front yard and my backyard was 5 foot tall, and according to Phoenix City ordinance, at least at that time, in order for you to have a vehicle parked in your backyard, it must not be visible from the front of the property, and there must be a 6 foot high fence. So yeah, I spent like a week in jail as a result of having a 5 foot high fence, or a 6 foot high fence when I should have a 5 foot high fence. So that was apparently a big priority to the city of Phoenix. But in this neighborhood, hey, you can have a unlicensed vehicle parked in the dirt where the pedestrian right of way is supposed to be and where the sidewalk should be, and you can also sit at a bus stop and smoke fentanyl, and that's okay as well. So yeah, I think a lot of that comes, I see a lot of stuff like that with city government, with police departments, with other types of law enforcement agencies, and it looking at the big picture, it becomes abundantly clear that instead of the municipalities and the law enforcement agencies focusing on things that are actual real problems, which I would say the lack of a sidewalk here is kind of a real problem. I would say people doing and dealing fentanyl at bus stops and being homeless and using bus stops as their, this guy has no license plate either. Being at a using bus stops as your shelter because you don't have a home So that's just where you're going to exist, to the detriment of the people that need those bus stops to wait for the bus. Yeah, those are not problems that make money. Those are not tickets that generate fines, that generate dollars. Whereas going after a property owner, at the time I owned that house, going after a property owner who pays property taxes for having for not having a 6-foot high fence when they have a 5-foot high fence, that does generate money, because that guy's going to most likely pay the fine, and most likely, there's going to be money involved. The person who owns that house and pays property taxes has money, whereas the homeless guy and the fentanyl junkie does not. And of course, doing something about the lack of sidewalk here that costs money. There's no way of generating money with that. But God, Phoenix, put a fucking sidewalk here. I don't think I'm asking for all that much. I mean, to be honest, I'd like a bus route on this street. I think the street definitely is worthy of a bus route. I mean, my God, look how much vehicle traffic it has. Look how much pedestrian traffic it has. There are certainly streets in other cities that have less traffic and are less of a continuous thoroughfare. Because this road, by the way, goes north all the way to past Bethany Home Road. In fact, it goes pretty much all the way to the foot of Camelback Mountain. That mountain off to the north. It does change its name at Camelback Road to Arcadia Drive. It's still the same road. And to the south, it goes a few blocks south of Washington. Yeah, this is the kind of route that really should have a bus on it. Kind of road that really should have a bus route on it. But it don't. In fact, speaking of how it should have a bus route on it, not on the side I was walking on, but on the northbound side. Oh shit, I missed my light. On the northbound side, there are actually in the sidewalk bus platforms in place where bus stops theoretically should be. And while I didn't capture any of those on this video, and there goes, they're out 3, which means the next one's not for 30 minutes. That sucks. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish walking to the post office and handle my business at the post office. I expect it to be considerably less than 30 minutes. That Route 3 going, that means the next one isn't scheduled for another 30 minutes. And of course, it's always a crapshoot on whether it's going to show up at the time it's scheduled. And at this point, also a flip of a coin as to whether that bus is even going to be running. Got a feeling I'm probably walking to my storage. Oh hey, just had a button for this one. Just enough traffic on Van Buren today. I can't